What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you've never been on my channel before, my name's Philbeck. If you want to, you should go back. You should watch a couple of my older videos. I have a 240SX and a Pontiac GTO you might be interested in. Go check out some of my older content. But today, okay, Beetle. But today we are welcoming the new build to the channel. So without further ado, let's welcome the LS Swapped E46. Come on, let's check it out. So, if you watched my recent video, you would know that I talked about in that video how one of the main reasons that I wanted to get rid of the 240 was that I was just very anxious and nervous about the SR setup that was in it. I was super thankful to have gotten that car because I know that I got it off my chest. If I never would have actually gotten that car, I would still be itching for one today. I'm really thankful that I actually got to experience my SR20, S13, 240SX dreams. But I've just heard so many nightmare stories about the SRs. I know that people just don't have a lot of luck with them, especially when you're beating the shit out of them, and that was the reason that I bought the car, was solely to beat the shit out of it, to learn how to seriously drive it. So in my opinion, the SR20 just wasn't a good fit for me. The SR never gave me problems. I'm not saying that that car was super unreliable for me. I drove it for a year and I beat the crap out of it every time that I did drive on it. I was just very anxious to drive it to events, multiple hours away, beat the crap on it, and then bring it back. While if something did go wrong, SR parts aren't at AutoZone. I don't know how I'd really go about fixing it in that situation. I'm not fortunate enough to have a truck and a trailer. So hopefully if the channel blows up or I can come up with something, I'll be able to maybe down the line. But I wanted something more reliable, something that I could trust, something that I could beat the shit out of, drive all day long, and know that it was gonna make it home. And worst case scenario, if something did break, more than likely, I can find it at a parts store. When I was selling the 240, I was seriously debating whether or not I should get a Corvette. I know that a lot of guys, especially if you watch like Lone Star Drift and stuff, they are drifting Corvettes now. They make the Mini Manus kit for it. It's pretty much an LS swapped car, but it comes from the factory that way. So you can get them with heat and AC, and they're super just set up cars. But I did my own research. I talked to people about it. And one of the main reasons that I didn't want to get a Corvette was that it actually has a transaxle system where the transmission sits in the rear of the car. So you know that if you ever have to change the clutch out, you have to drop the torque tube, the trans, the diff, the entire rear subframe, everything, just to do a simple job like that. So I know that it makes Corvettes super difficult to work on. The Corvette would have been awesome. I think it would have been really cool to have a street car that had AC, heat, was super reliable, had the power of an LS and the reliability of it. But like I said, they were just incredibly hard to work on if anything was to ever go wrong. So I didn't really want to experience that, and this car should be the problem solver to all of that. It has an LS1 just like I would have found in the C5, heads, cam, intake manifold, and it's all on a Terminator X Holly. But the part that did sell me on this car the most was the transmission setup. The transmission in this car is a T56 Magnum. It is brand new. It has 0 miles on it. And the shifting on this transmission is so crisp. It is so good. It's not dog box sequential type, but it's like the best that you can get. T56 Magnum, TR6060, without going like to that berserk level. It's so good, and it's so good, but paired behind this like modified LS1. It's not like super crazy high power, but I know that I can bang gears in this thing all day long and never have a problem at it. It doesn't have that like dog gear, like clunk, but it still just goes into gear so good. It's one of the parts that sold me on this car the most. This car is so properly set up, from the engine being put into the car with a standalone, the T56 Magnum. It has a custom built drive shaft. It still has the 330 rear end and the 330 axles, but they're honestly pretty damn beefy. I don't know if you can see that, but that's a pretty beefy axle. It's not anything too small. It isn't just swapped. It does have a lot of other stuff done to it. It does have BC coilovers all the way around. It has an SLR ultra angle kit in the front and it has arms in the rear, so the entire suspension system has been gone through. It has new bushings all throughout the car. This car is set up to go. It is practically brand new. It has a Willwoods Chase Bays dual caliper setup. I'm going to change the handbrake out, but it actually has Willwood calipers in the rear with a legit dual caliper setup. This isn't a very complicated setup for an LS. It's an LS1 bottom end. It has 243 heads. It has an LS6 intake manifold, which if you know LSs, you know that those are just slightly better than the LS1s. It's got a cam in it. I'm pretty sure it's a BTR stage 3. The car hasn't been dyno tuned yet, but in theory the car should make mid 400s, which isn't insane. It is a good piece of power plant for a drift car, but it's nothing insane. But the best part about the engine setup is that it's all run by that guy, Terminator X. So it is on a standalone ECU, which is going to make it so much easier for tuning and actually getting everything that I want to out of this engine, which is awesome. If you can see down there, the motor mounts and everything, they're all really, really nice. There really wasn't a lot of expense spared on this thing. You can see like the Mishimoto radiator in the front. It is a very well put together car. Jackson was building this thing, again, he was my friend, so I got to see this car in progress. It's not like I bought it off somebody random on Facebook Marketplace. But I know that he put the time, the effort, and the money into building this car. Just for example, just like little things, like he took it to a fabrication shop to get the battery tray put in, which is honestly really, really nice. They also went ahead and built a full custom exhaust. I'm not the biggest fan of the way it sounds, but it's a good piece. I want to do a full in-depth video about all of the modifications that are on this car, so I might do that alongside Jackson or get a list from him of all the tiny little things that aren't so obvious. I feel like I could talk all day about all the reasons that I bought this car, and there are a million reasons that I could list off. But I feel like what I've said is reason enough, and I hope that my viewership and the people that are watching this video understand why I made the choice to buy this car. But I also hope that you see the potential that this car still has. Yes, it has a lot done to it and things that I can fix upon and I can improve upon, but also things that we can do as a channel that can make this car so much better than it already is. We're gonna put a full FD spec roll cage in it. We're gonna put over fenders on it. We're gonna put a body kit on it. We're gonna do an insane wrap or a color change. I could get this T56 Magnum, I could get it face plated. I could just go send it to RPM and actually have them build it up in stages. I plan on keeping this LS in A, but we could do different intake manifolds. We could add boost to it if we really wanted to. There's a ton of room in that engine bay for a Pro Charger, and that would be sick, but I don't think that'll come anytime soon. But this car has so much potential. Yes, it already has a ton of stuff done to it, but I hope that you can see that so much more can be done. So if you want to see the rest of the build process on this car, if you want to give me any ideas of what you would like to see done to this car, please comment down below. I really appreciate you if you've actually made it this far into the video. It actually helps my channel a lot if you actually stick around for the entire video. So if you have, I really appreciate it. Please leave a like, comment what you want to see me do to this car, comment some video ideas of things that I could do with this car. I know it's starting to get into winter, but it's 70 degrees today and it feels awesome. So we still got some good weather left if you want to see me do some videos before the end of the year. I really appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe. All of it helps me out. I really appreciate it. Thank you.